Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had a real career conversation? Not a casual chat with a colleague about how work is going, not a performance review where your manager reads from a template. I mean, a genuine strategic conversation that actually moved your career forward. If you are struggling to remember, then you are not alone. Here's what I have seen in 30 years in the IT industry and now as a leadership coach working with hundreds of mid and senior career professionals. The people who got promoted, who got noticed, who build careers they are actually proud of, they are not necessarily the most talented ones. They are not always the hardest working as well, but they are the ones having conversations that everyone else avoids. And today I am going to share with you 5 career conversations you should be having, but probably you are not. Now, before we dive in, I want you to do something. Think of your career over the last 2 or 3 years. Think about how many meaningful conversations you have had about where you are headed. If the answer is less than 5, stay with me. This video might just change the trajectory of your career. Conversation number 1, the vision conversation with yourself. Yes, I know you expected me to start with some conversation with your manager or your skip level. But the most important career conversation that you will ever have is with yourself. And most of the people never ever have it. Let me tell you what I see all the time. I work with IT professionals who have 7, 10, 15, and even 20 years of experience. Smart people, technically brilliant. And when I ask them a very simple question, where do you want to be in the next 3 years? They just go blank. And here's the thing, if you don't know where you want to go, nobody else can help you get there. Not your manager, not a mentor, not a coach, nobody. So here's what I want you to do. Block 90 minutes on your calendar this weekend. No phone, no distractions, and answer these 3 questions honestly. Question number 1. If I could design my ideal role 3 years from now, what would it look like? Not the title, the actual work. What am I doing every day? What am I working with? What problems am I solving? Question 2. What am I tolerating right now that I should not be? Maybe it's a role that doesn't excite me anymore. Maybe it's a manager who doesn't see your potential. Maybe it's a company culture that rewards politics over performance. Name that. Question 3. What is the one thing that I am avoiding that I know I need to do? That hard conversation, that skill that I need to develop, that leap I need to take. What is it? Write it down. Be brutally honest because clarity is the foundation of everything that comes next. And I will tell you something from my own coaching experience. The moment someone gets clear on what they actually want, everything else starts to fall in place. The conversations become easier, the decisions become simpler, and the confidence naturally increases. This is the conversation most of the people skip. Don't be most people. Conversation number 2, the expectations conversations with your manager. Now I know what you are thinking. Vijay, I already have one on ones with my managers. Great. But let me ask you this. In your last one to one, did you talk about what it actually takes to get you promoted? Or did you talk about project updates, ticket statuses, and deadlines? There's a massive, massive difference. Most of the one to ones are operational, they are about work, but an expectations conversation is about your career. And here's why this matters so much. In my coaching practice, I see this pattern. Someone works incredibly hard for 2 to 3 years. They deliver consistently, they exceed every target. And then promotion time comes around and they don't get, and they are shocked, they are angry, they feel betrayed. And when I dig into it, I almost always find the same thing. They never actually ask their manager what the promotion criteria is. They assume that great work speaks for itself. Unfortunately, it does not. Not in most of the organization. So here's the conversation you need to have. And I'm going to give you almost the exact words. Go to your manager and say this: Hey manager, I want to be intentional about my growth here. I would love to understand from your perspective what are the two or three things I need to demonstrate consistently to be considered for that next level. And honestly, where am I right now relative to that bar? That's it. Simple, direct, and professional. Here's what's going to happen: one of three things. Either your manager gives you specific, actionable feedback, which is pure gold, or they give you vague fluff like just keep doing what you're doing, which tells you they either don't know or don't care about your growth, or they get uncomfortable, which tells you something too. All the three outcomes are valuable information. And here's the key: don't have this conversation once, have it every quarter, because expectations shift, goalposts move. And if you're not checking in regularly, you might be running in the wrong direction without even knowing about it. I had a client who did exactly this. She had been stuck in the same role for 4 years. When she finally asked her manager this question, she discovered that the gap wasn't her technical skills at all. It was her cross functional influence. Nobody ever told her that. Once she knew, she closed that gap in the next 6 months and she got promoted. 6 months after 4 years of frustration, all because of one conversation. Conversation number three: the perception conversation with trusted peers. Well, this is a little uncomfortable. So, here's a question: do you know how people actually perceive you at work? Not how they think they perceive you, not how you hope they perceive you, but how they actually perceive you. Because there is always a gap between how you see yourself and how others see you. Always. And that gap, that's where most of the careers do get stuck. So here's what I want you to do: identify two or three colleagues that you genuinely trust, people who will be honest with you, and ask them these two questions. Question number one: when people talk about me in a meeting that I am not in, what do you think they say? Question number two: if there was one thing about how I should show up at work that I should change, what would that be? Now, this actually takes a lot of courage. And when they answer, you need to do one thing: listen. Don't defend, don't explain, don't justify. Just listen, thank them, and then sit with it. I know that this is hard. Our ego wants to protect us, but growth lives on the other side of discomfort. The leaders who rise the fastest are not the ones with the fewest blind spots. They are the ones who actually go looking for their blind spot. Be that person. Conversation number four: the sponsorship conversation with a senior leader. Now, pay attention. Most people know they need a mentor, and mentors are great. They give you advice, they share their experience, they help you think through problems. But a mentor is not enough. What you need is a sponsor. And there's a critical difference here. A mentor talks to you, a sponsor talks about you. A mentor helps you develop, a sponsor puts your name forward when opportunities come up and you are not in the. Think about it. When a VP level position opens up, when a high visibility project needs a lead, when someone in the leadership team says, who should we consider for this? You need someone in that room who says your name. That's a sponsor. And here's the uncomfortable truth: nobody will sponsor you just because you do great work. Sponsorship is a relationship, it has to be built intentionally. So, How do you build it? Here's the approach I teach my clients. First, identify a senior leader, ideally two levels above you, whose work you genuinely respect, not someone random, someone whose judgment and values you truly admire. Second, find a way to add value to them before you ask for anything. Maybe it's volunteering for a strategic initiative that they are leading. Maybe it's sharing an insight or perspective that helps them solve a problem. Maybe it's delivering exceptional work on something that they truly care about. Third, once you have built some credibility with them, have this conversation. I really value your perspective on the organization. I'm thinking about my growth towards the specific goal. I would love to get your honest view on what it would be taking me to get there, and I would truly appreciate any opportunities where you think I could stretch and grow. You're not asking them to be your sponsor. That would be truly awkward. You are creating conditions for sponsorship to develop naturally. And here's what most other people don't realize: senior leaders want to sponsor promising talent. It's how they build their own legacy and influence. But they need a reason to believe in you. Give them that reason. I have seen entire careers transform because of one strong career sponsor. One person in that right room saying the right thing about you at the right time. Don't leave that to chance. Conversation number 5: the boundary conversation with yourself and others. Now, this might surprise you. You would expect me to end with something about networking or personal branding. But the conversation that most mid career and senior professionals desperately need to have is about boundaries. Here's why. In my coaching work, I see a very specific pattern with high performers. They say yes to virtually everything. They take on extra projects, they work on weekends, they cover for their underperforming colleagues, they become the go to person for practically everything, and they wear it like a badge of honor. I am the reliable one. I am the one who always delivers. But here's what that actually means: it means that you are spending 90% of your energy on work that keeps you at your current level, and maybe 10% on the work that gets you to the next level. And worse, when you are always available, always saying yes, always accommodating, people don't value your time. They don't see you as a leader. They see you as a resource, a utility, someone to dump work on. That's harsh, I know, but it's the truth. So here's the boundary conversation. It has two parts. Part 1 is with yourself. You need to honestly ask, what am I saying yes to that I should be saying no to? What work am I doing that does not serve my growth? What am I holding on to that I should be delegating or declining? Part 2 is with others. And this is where it gets real. You need to learn to say no professionally, not rudely, not aggressively, but clearly and confidently. Here's a script that works beautifully. I appreciate you thinking about me for this. Right now, I am focused on a specific priority, name that, which aligns with my core deliverables. Let me suggest some alternative person's name or solution who might be a better fit for this. That's a professional no. You're not burning bridges. You are not being difficult. You are demonstrating something that every leader must have: the ability to prioritize strategically. And here's the paradox: when you start setting boundaries, when you stop being available for everything, your perceived value goes up, not down. Because leaders are not defined by how much they do, they are defined by how strategically they choose what to do. So protect your time like your career depends on it, because it does. So let me bring all of this together. These 5 conversations: the vision conversation with yourself, the expectation conversations with your manager, the perception conversation with your peers, the sponsorship conversation with a senior leader, and the boundary conversation with yourself and others. These are not nice to haves. These are career essentials. And here's the pattern I want you to notice. None of these conversations are about your technical skills. Not even one. They are about clarity. They are about communication. They are about relationships. They are about self awareness. This is the gap that I see in almost every mid and senior IT professional that I work with. The skills are there, the work ethic is there, but the career conversations, they are missing. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one conversation from this list, just one, and have it this week. I promise you, one honest conversation can do more for your career than 6 months of grinding in silence. Now, if this resonated with you, I want to invite you to check out Limitless Leaders Tribe. It's a community I have built specifically for mid, career, and senior IT professionals who are ready to stop being overlooked and start being recognized as the leaders they already are. I'll put the link in the description below. If you have found value in this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment telling me which of these 5 conversations are you going to have first. I read every comment and I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next one.